Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This particular vlog series that I'm doing right now is going to be a little bit different. So I kind of want to give you an explanation as to why I'm going to be doing the types of vlogs that I'm going to be doing and what you can expect from me. So first, I just want to introduce myself to you guys. So my name is LaToya. I am 37 years old. I have a husband who I've been married to for 13 years. I have a stepson that is 20 years old. He'll be 21 in less than 6 months. That is crazy to think about because when I met him, he was 5 years old. I do not have any biological children, which is a little bit why, you'll see a little bit later in this vlog, why I'm doing a specific vlog series that I'm doing right now. And I have a dog named Kevin. Now, I am from a military family. So both of my parents were in the military. They were in the Army. I live in Atlanta, not in Atlanta city limits, but the Atlanta metro area. Maybe about 15 to 20 minutes on a really good day. On a really good day to Midtown Atlanta. I say that because mileage really means nothing here in Atlanta. It's all about the road conditions. We are so full up. We are full, and it seems like we get thousands and thousands of people literally on a daily basis. But we are full. I am a licensed cosmetologist. So I'm actually licensed in 3 states. I'm licensed in the state of Georgia, Arizona, and North Carolina. I know that sounds kind of weird. So of course I'm licensed in Georgia because I live here in Georgia. I'm also licensed in Arizona is because it's a place that I lived for quite a while, and I was recently there kind of temporarily for some work. So I decided to go ahead and get my license there. And North Carolina is also a place where I spent a lot of time in my life because I am a military brat. So I found it very convenient just to apply for their license as well. My husband is a North Carolina native, so I figure, if I ever need to do any work in the state or even want to start a business in the state, I'm very prepared and just kind of ready for that already. Now I say that I am a licensed cosmetologist, but I do not do cosmetology as a full-time job right now. Something I'm trying to get to, but not at this point in time. But in all due time, God has the plan. I have a company that I have been working for over a decade. And I actually work from home, so I don't have to deal with Atlanta traffic or driving into town or rush hour or anything. All I have to do is get out of my bed, brush my teeth, and walk about 15 feet to this room that I'm sitting in now, and sit in this chair that I'm sitting in right now, and turn my computer on. So that's all I do. It's a really good company that I work for. I appreciate them a lot because the job that I have kind of gives me some flexibility to do the things that I want to do beauty-wise, and be able to take temporary positions or jobs or freelance stuff. So I'm really cool with that. Just to be frank and quite honest, this new vlog series is about me losing weight and fertility. It's kind of hard to say, but me losing weight and fertility. So right now I am working on making some major cutbacks to lose a bulk of weight in a certain period of time. The reason why I'm doing that is that I have been diagnosed with secondary infertility, low AMH, and low egg quality. So this situation that I'm in, the low AMH and low egg quality, caused me to do a couple of things. So within the last 2 years, me and my husband had to move for work purposes. We had to temporarily move to Phoenix, Arizona, which is a place that I lived before. And the company that I work for, in which I work from home now, I started working with them in Phoenix, Arizona. So it was not a big deal. Before moving to Phoenix, which would have been in early 2017. Yeah, early 2017, because I spent about a year there. My husband was there a little bit before me, so he was due to be there December, I think, of 2016, and I got there officially in March of 2017. Before that, we had already started seeing a fertility specialist here in Atlanta. A really good practice that we went to, people that we enjoyed. They, kind of laid it out on the line. I really loved my doctor, but I did let him know, after he went through a battery of tests to see what was going on, that I was moving. So, he kind of gave me, our step-by-step plan on what we had planned on doing, and said, if you're in Arizona for this period of time, if you decide to use someone in Arizona or decide to go through with treatment in Arizona, just kind of let them know all the things that we've gone through, and they can kind of pick up where I left off. And I believe probably in July, maybe August, I think August of 2017, I started looking for fertility specialists in Phoenix. So I did pick a doctor. With this doctor, of course, we still went through a battery of tests. We went through loads and loads and loads of stuff just to make sure that he could see everything clearly and make a recommendation based upon that. Once we got through all of those blood tests, genetics tests, everything, it was determined at that point in time that I had low AMH. AMH is a hormone that your body produces in accordance with egg quality in your body. Now, there is treatment for AMH. You can go on an estrogen treatment. You can take certain supplements for an extended period of time, all of which I did. And mine did not change. So I was just simply diagnosed with the secondary infertility, low egg quality. I actually went through a aggressive round of IVF in January of 2018. My aggressive round of IVF for my own eggs. So IVF is in vitro fertilization. When you go through in vitro fertilization, you take tons of hormones, stimulants, and supplements within about a week to 10-day process. And then after that week to 10-day process, the follicles that are in your ovaries are supposed to produce eggs. Now, most people, especially my age, the kind of marker, I guess you could say, when it comes to fertility is 40 to 42. So when you go through IVF, you take hormones to produce eggs. It will be the same hormones that your body already produces each month when you produce an egg or two, just depending on your body, or 3, it depends on you. But most women produce an egg a month when they're in their fertile range. So when you take these hormones, it's supposed to increase the production of eggs. So 1, you can remove lots of eggs at one time, not just 1 or 2. 2, you can then grade those eggs, because those eggs do come in qualities. You want to take the best eggs and fertilize those. Now, generally, when you have IVF and there's not any major age issues, any injuries, any prior situations that may have caused any problems, you retrieve anywhere from, let's just say on an average, 10 to 15 eggs. That would be ideal. When the doctor told me about 10 eggs, I thought to myself, I said, Lord, if we can just get 5 to 8 eggs, that I don't need more than that. 5 to 8 eggs, that would have been ideal for me, because then we had some to choose from. When I went through my IVF, and it was aggressive, I took lots of medication. Usually it is a 7-day cycle. My doctor extended mine to a 10-day cycle. And once I went in for egg retrieval, which I actually go in, You're put into kind of a twilight sleep, so you're not completely out, but you're very relaxed and you don't really feel anything going on. When that happened, I got 3 eggs. 3. So after going through an aggressive round. Now, just to kind of give you an example, I have someone that I know who went through the same type of therapy that I went through. Hers was not as aggressive because it didn't need to be aggressive, but she went through the therapy that I went through, the same type of medications, the same recommendations and supplements. And when they went in to retrieve her eggs, they got 20. So they got 20 and I came out with 3. Now, of course, once I came to and, my drugs wore off and I got home and I realized, because the doctor told me at the time, he said, yeah, we were able to get 3. And I remember hearing him say that, but I just was, not just kind of coming down off of anesthesia. So wasn't really paying attention to that. When I got home and I realized, and I looked at my paperwork and it said they got 3, I was devastated. But I still had hope. So they got 3. Of those 3 eggs, 2 were mature and viable and potentially could be fertilized. 1 was completely not there, not ready, couldn't be used. It was done. They were fertilized. Now they're fertilized with my husband's sperm. He gives a sample. How this particular office did is he gives a live sample the day of my egg retrieval. They go through and basically vet it. So they strain it. They take out basically the best looking sperm, the best quality sperm, and they insert them in the eggs. So they insert them in the eggs, and then the eggs have about 5 days to mature and split and turn into a blastocyst. Now, if you want to Google blastocyst, you'll see a picture of a blastocyst. It's basically like a little clump of cells, but that is how we all start out. It's that one cell that splits and splits and splits into many cells. Once your eggs are fertilized, they are monitored by a physical person for 5 days every day. The lab technician called me on that Monday. So this happened on a Saturday morning, my egg retrieval. The lab technician called me on a Monday morning and said, everything looks good so far. We've already got cell division. So at this point, there were 2 cells on each one, and they had already split. On Tuesday, they split again. So there were 4 cells, there are 4 cells at that point in time. So they each split again. On Wednesday, they split again. So this time we have 8 cells. And then they pretty much stopped after Wednesday. They did not split again until Friday, which I did end up getting about 16 cells or so, and then they let them progress, past Friday onto Saturday and the next Monday, and they completely stopped. It was a halt. After that, nothing else happened. So those embryos were seen as, well, they weren't embryos, but then those eggs were seen as not viable, and I had a failed IVF cycle. This meant a lot of different things. So 1, it meant that I put myself through IVF and a battery of things. You could say for nothing, because I didn't get any result. And as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna post some pictures now. So right after this, what you'll see is what my stomach looked like when I was doing this. Although you're not pregnant during IVF, you often, as a woman, carry a stomach that looks like a 6-month pregnant stomach. So I'll show you my belly with bruises. I'll also show you the huge amounts of medication that I had to take. So I'll insert those pictures there, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you just saw those pictures. Some of those things are hard for me to look at because I can remember just the pain, having to inject myself with several different things all the time. Even before I actually went on the fertility medication itself, my doctor had me on a blood thinner, which is a part of the treatment for the low egg quality and low AMH. For months before that, so I was taking that twice a day, and so I had injections that I put into my belly, the bottom of my stomach, for the better part of 6 months. It was hard. Anybody who knows me, my mom can tell you, my sister can tell you, I am not a fan of pain in any way. Pain, I do not have a high pain tolerance. So having to inject myself was something I had to pray about when the doctor told me that you're gonna have to do this. I prayed about it because I didn't want my husband to do it. I felt like he might be timid and think that he was gonna hurt me and end up hurting me more because he's not, doing it quickly. And so I just took it upon myself and I prayed about it, and I did it every day, twice a day, for 6 months. I still can't believe that, but I did. It's because I want to have children, and I felt like this is a sacrifice that I could make for a short period of time if on the other end I could get what I felt was what was supposed to happen. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. After my failed cycle of IVF, I was depressed. I went through lots of different emotions. I went through heartache, anger, jealousy, and jealousy is a big one for me because I am not a jealous person. Anybody who meets me, people who know me, my friends, my family will tell you I'm not a jealous person. I think jealousy is a useless emotion because you can control it. How can you let what someone else has dictate how you feel about you or how you feel about your life? So when I started to really feel like real feelings of jealousy, it bothered me. It bothered me a lot, and it stressed me out. I went through a couple of different things from being stressed out. I had skin breakouts. My hair started to fall out, so I shaved it. And, I just kind of prayed through it and hoped that, God could give me another chance in the situation. But first and foremost, that he could get me through the situation, that he could make sure that I was okay, because the most important thing is that I'm sound within myself. If I can't be sound within myself, then how can I be of any service to anyone else? That's my husband, that's my stepchild, my parents, my brothers and sisters, my clients. I can't be of service to anyone if I can't be a whole person. So I prayed through it to make sure that I could be okay, so that if I decided to try this again, or if I decided to go another route, that I could have a full understanding of the good, the bad, the ugly, and a full understanding of all the outcomes and be okay. So here we are, June 2019. Today's June 16th, 2019. You'll probably be watching this sometime next week because I've filmed my vlogs so that I can be a week behind. I post them a week behind, so that I can go through and edit them and make them nice and pretty for you guys. But today's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to anybody who's watching this now, or happy belated Father's Day if you're watching this after Father's Day, which most likely you will be. And I'm back with my original fertility specialist. Of course, he went through all the records of things that I had done in Phoenix, and his recommendation based upon that is to have an egg donor. Now, when I originally went back to see him, which would have been in February of this year, so it's been about 4 months when I originally went back to see him. So let's rewind a little bit. After I had the failed IVF cycle, which would have been in January of 2018, me and my husband were in Phoenix for another, well, I was only there for another 3 months after that. And then he came back to Atlanta also. So I came back to Atlanta from Phoenix. He accepted a new position at the company that we both work for. We work for the same company. It is also a work at home position. So we were able to transition back to our house in Atlanta. So we got back here. I was back here in April. He got back here eventually in June of last year. And so we just decided when I got here, I said, I'm just going to take a break. So in March, when I knew we were coming back here, we had the conversation that, what we're going to do to move forward in the situation, or what we're going to do at all. And my mom just told me, she said, just take a rest, just let go for a little while, and see what happens. So I did. I actually took an entire year to just let go. When I went back to the doctor, so this would have been in March of this year, 2019, he went through all of my records and everything that I had and agreed wholeheartedly with my previous physician in Phoenix that I should not try this process again without an egg donor. Now, it had been told to me in Phoenix. I basically wanted to hear this particular doctor say the same thing. So I just gave him all of it. I didn't really say anything. You answer your standard questions or whatever when you reestablish yourself at a doctor or when you establish yourself, but I didn't really go into detail. I wanted him to have a non-biased opinion based upon what he saw. So he had my records a couple weeks before my actual appointment. So we had time to review them, get second opinions, have consultations with other fertility specialists in his office. And the general consensus was that this should not be attempted again without an egg donor. So I understood that. In his office, was completely fine for some reason. When he told me, I was just like, okay, I understand. Cool. So basically, I spoke with his nurse and his assistant after that. They gave me the steps on the plans of things to happen forward so that I could get the ball rolling again. They gave me a general price layout, general options and things that I needed to do based upon that. And then what my husband needed to do in combination with the stuff that I'd already done. And then we could come back together, me and my husband, and have a consultation with the doctor so that we can go through a firm plan and then set a timeline and move forward with that. Now, getting all that information, like I said, in the office, I was completely fine. I got in the car, and this doctor's office is not, it's not far, but it's definitely not close to me. So on a good day, let's say I'm going not in rush hour traffic or there's no issues on the road, it might take me 35 minutes to get there. If I'm in traffic or it's rush hour, it could take over an hour to get there. So when I got in the car, I did have some time to think about and process the information that had just been given to me. And when I was in the car, it just hit me. I almost thought that I was gonna have to pull over. It was like I couldn't breathe. I think I was literally panicking in the car. It was like I couldn't breathe, like something was sitting on my chest. I couldn't really cry, but I was very kind of shaky. I could feel myself shaking and me being kind of hot and irritated at the time. So I think I literally was having a panic attack. So I had to calm myself down in the car. Traffic was just inching along. It wasn't, brakes. I was riding on the brakes basically. So I had to kind of, count down and calm myself down, because at this point I was getting really like worked up. I couldn't process what was going on. I was trying to drive and process the information, couldn't really breathe. I think my husband might have been texting me at that point in time as well, because he was at work and wanted to know what happened with the test results. And I just couldn't get it together. It was a lot happening at one time. Finally, I did get myself calmed down in the car. I did not have to pull over. Like I said, I was in a lot of stop and go. I don't think I could have gotten over anyway. And I was definitely afraid of having a car accident, which I had already had one earlier in 2018. So I just didn't want to have another accident. So I was trying to calm myself down so I didn't have a car accident. Once I realized exactly what I was told, when I got home and I read the information, I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I work at night, so I called in from work. I think I went downstairs, got me a ginger ale, and probably took 2 shots of Hennessy. And I went upstairs, took off all my clothes, and literally wrapped myself up in the bed. I made it cold and dark in my room, wrapped myself from head to toe with a blanket, and literally just laid there. And I cried and cried and cried and cried and slept it off. I felt like this particular diagnosis was something that was the end. Like, what am I supposed to do? If my eggs aren't viable, then what? The next day, I FaceTimed my mom to tell her what had happened. And my mom's a real strong lady. She has had things that have gone on in her life that she has overcome. And I felt like I always feel like whatever she tells me to do, I pretty much do it. And I'm 37 years old. So she told me, it's okay to cry about this. It's okay to get it out your system. It's okay to do whatever you need to do. But don't let it do it to you for too long. So at that point in time, I had told her, excuse me, my nose ring's bothering me, sorry. I had told her that I called into work and I didn't go into work the previous night. And she was, I could see it in her face. She was a little kind of irritated by that. Like, I could understand. She basically said she could understand me taking that day, but don't do it again. Don't let this get you down. You make sure you go to work tonight. You make sure you do what you got to do. And you make sure you stay positive, because it's all in God's hands. So I had to let go and let God. I did. I talked to my husband about it. I talked to a counselor about it. I prayed about it. And I really thought that my husband would be fully against having an egg donor, like fully against it. He never once doubted the situation. So he always thought, hey, the first cycle of IVF failed. We can do it one more time and see. We want to make sure we give it the good college try before we let it go. But when I explained to him the situation and he read through all the paperwork, my husband is a reader. He basically took all the paperwork that I got from the doctor, their recommendation, and came up with his plans, A, B, C. So this is what we should do. And this is how we should take it. So we went through that. He also was dealing with some issues as well within himself, which actually, as a blessing, they corrected themselves. He has no issues with fertility or sperm count or mobility, which is how much your sperm move, or motility, how they move, if they swim left to right, back and forth, in circles. all of that somehow corrected itself for him. So I felt that was a blessing. But we did still have for him a sperm freeze. So to make sure that, we could get the highest quality, and it's just set on reserve and it's there ready to go at any time. When it came to me, we then had a consultation with the egg donor specialist at my fertility office. The office that I use actually has a specific program with a program director who is a nurse practitioner. She runs the whole program, and it is in-house. So when it comes to egg donors, they know every single egg donor. They have met them personally. They've spoken with them personally. They go through a battery of tests, interviews, health exams. They have to write an essay. They have to provide full family history. They have to do medical work, all the things that I had to do when I initially was doing my egg retrieval or going to the egg retrieval portion of IVF. They have to do. So they have to do a full workup, a full health analysis, a psychiatric evaluation, and even then they still could be declined. So I felt that this was a really good start when it came to that, or actually a really good situation, because I'm not just going to an egg bank and scrolling through people, hundreds of people that might meet whatever criteria I put in it. This is a very small localized program, and it's taken care of by simply 3 women that work within this practice, and they are very helpful, very knowledgeable along the way. We also, of course, after having the consultation and speaking with the egg donor program director, had a financial consultation. So for them to tell us how much this process is going to take at their office. I really like this office when they tell you the financials of situations, because they always tell you worst case scenario. Now, so we decided that having an egg donor is a feasible option. Both of us are okay with that, so I'm okay with that. My husband Maurice is okay with that. He's been involved every step of the way. Now, we have to make sure that I am at my optimal health when doing this egg placement. So, because we have to make sure that I'm at my optimal health, and we want to make sure that we give this every chance that it possibly can to succeed, I have decided, and my doctor didn't necessarily recommend it because I've already lost a large amount of weight. As a matter of fact, I'm going to insert a picture of myself before I lost weight and now. So you see, I've lost a large amount of weight, but I could stand to lose some more weight. And to get into the range that I need to be in to be okay BMI level, or the maximum range they want us to be as a BMI, I might need to lose another 50 to 60 pounds. I don't necessarily want to be at the maximum weight. I would like to be below that to give myself some room and cushion in case I should gain weight, or when I gain weight as a pregnant woman. I'm going to say in case I should, when I gain weight in pregnancy. So I want to make sure that I am at a weight that is comfortable for me and that is going to be the best for my baby. So just to kind of give you an overview, what that means is that I work out twice a day, Monday through Friday. I restrict calories on every day, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have a period of intermittent fasting that goes from morning until evening. So from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I'm on intermittent fasting, and then I eat at 7 p.m. and try to keep my calories still very low at that point in time. I have cut out all sugar. And when I say all sugar, I don't mean naturally occurring sugar. I've drastically cut down carbs. I do not eat rice, pasta, very little corn or starchy vegetables like that. I have allowed myself a leeway for bread, but it's very minimal. It's literally 1 to 2 slices per week that I may have of bread, and that's just like a regular loaf slice. I do not drink anything but water and unsweetened tea. I drink anywhere between 48 to 60 ounces of water a day. That's hard for me, but I do that. I'm trying to increase that by 48 to 60 ounces of water per day. And I do cardio in the morning and cardio in the evening, depending on what day it is. I do switch up the type of cardio that I do, but that's how I am burning my calories. It is June 2019, as I mentioned before. It is our goal for me to have completed having an egg donor by February, March of 2020. Also completed any health situations that I'm going through right now. So, any questions? I know that was a lot. I know that was a whole lot for me, and you learned a lot about me in this video. My vlogs are going to start now, so this is the explanation. And if you want to, you should be able to actually look at a couple of different vlogs now. You'll see day 1 of me starting this process, going on through the first week, and other things that might be happening. So if you have any suggestions, if you have any prayers, if you have any questions, just leave me some information below. Always, I check my comments. I reply back to people in my comments. So if you have comments, leave comments below. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate you watching my YouTube channel. I appreciate you coming just to see me, because this is a hard thing. You know, I'm a Black woman, and you know, Black women don't go through therapy. That's something that I've done. Generally, people don't think of Black women or Hispanic women as having fertility issues, although we're susceptible to fertility issues for whatever reason, for a whole battery of reasons, just like any other women would be. So it is something that I wanted to start this channel for. I wanted to start this series on my channel for, because it's not something that we talk about, and we need to. And it's hard. It's hard for the Black women out here to accept help for things, because we're always the help. We are always the fixer, the cooker, the cleaner, the supporter, the cheerleader. We're the mama, the auntie, the sister. We're the counselor. We're that person. So when it's time for us to step out of those roles and then say, you know what? I need help. I need you to counsel me. I need you to support me. I need you to help me. I need you to cry with me. I need you to give me the hug. I need you to be there. It is hard. It's hard. And it's been hard for me this whole time, but I am going to let go. In this situation, I have no choice. I have to get myself together. I have to bring God closer to me so that I can be able to go through these things. I have to bring God closer to my husband and my family so that we all can be supported in this situation. And not everybody knows the things that I'm telling you guys. So my close family, my mom and dad, and my little sister, and some of the stuff in this video, unfortunately, my brothers don't know. But they know now if they're watching. My other extended family, no idea, because it's not something that I talk about. My in-laws, my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-law, this is not something that I felt like talking to anybody about. So I kind of went through this struggle, I guess you could say alone. I went through it with my husband. But other than that, I really had no other support. my mom was always there, always checking in, always asking questions. She was very good in the situation. But I don't think that she knew how to handle it. It was just something that was foreign to her. Of course, she didn't have any problems having any children. She had 4 healthy children. Her mom didn't have any problems having any children. Her grandmother had problems having children, but still successfully had 3. So, this is kind of a foreign concept to lots of people, especially generations above me. So I didn't know how to even explain this to like my grandmother, my aunts. I didn't even know how to explain this to them because I wasn't even sure if they could grasp what I was saying. Not because they're not intelligent, just because it's just not something that we deal with. You want to have a baby, you have a baby. Unfortunately, within the last 20 to 30 years, girls are having babies. Girls are having babies, whether they want to have babies or not. So it's just not something that you see prevalent in our community, that women are having trouble having babies, that want to have babies. So I'm making this vlog to, 1, keep my family informed of everything that's going on. It's just easier. There's a lot of us. 2, to maybe be somebody's encouragement, be somebody's support in a situation in which I felt like I didn't have any real support. Anybody that represented me in the situation. No one who looked like me. No one who sounded like me. No one who came where I came from or had a background similar to mine going through this. So hopefully I can be somebody's support in that situation. If you're having these problems, I hope that my videos help you. I hope my videos educate you. If you have questions, if you need support, if you need a helping hand, then just let me know. Just write something in the comments below and I will reply to you. Or if you feel like you just want to tell me something, you just want me to know something about what's going on, or you want to say something about my videos, just leave me a comment. So again, stay with me, support me, watch my channel, keep me accountable in the things that I'll be doing, and you'll be blessed. And I will talk to you guys later. Stay tuned for the vlogs. I appreciate you. Good night. I'm sleepy. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Always like, share, subscribe, share with a friend, and I'll see you later. Bye.